Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Tanner, head of operations here at the Flexx Network. This week, I'm hosting Flex Talk. This is episode 5. This is a roundtable discussion where we just talk and share our opinions on popular topics surrounding the news. And I have some great, very sexy guests with me today. They can introduce themselves now.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Blade. I'm the head recruiter for Flex. What's going on?
What up, guys? Rapture City, Flex Games, and Central Director.
Alright guys, awesome. So let's jump right in. This week we have some awesome topics for you guys. First things first, E3 is coming up June 4th, the week of June 4th, here in the US. And basically this year there's going to be a huge lack of announcements. There's not going to be any next-gen consoles announced. There's not going to be any next-gen real software announced, from what we've been hearing. What are your guys' thoughts on this year kind of being kind of dull? Kind of a step in between.
Well, to be honest, there is a chance that it may be the last E3 for this current generation before they start announcing everything next year, for definite. But I think this year it's going to be mainly focusing on games in the series like Halo 4. And then you have like Far Cry 3, those kind of games, which do kind of need the limelight because of everything which has been happening publicly with the consoles anyway.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Most of the stuff that's going to be released at E3 is pretty much just series we're all familiar with. Like nothing new that's been talked about as of yet. I mean, like just any pretty much series that you could think of that's going to have a sequel to next year. You're going to see at E3, but nothing really has been discussed about anything new yet. I mean, what do you guys think?
Well, there's been a few things floating around. I mean, the main thing which I'm waiting for E3, which is one of the main announcements, is Valve's next project. And what I heard a few weeks ago, well, actually a couple of days ago, was Valve and the production company Overkill, who made Payday the Heist on the PS3. They've teamed up to make some form of a FPS shooter together, and people may be thinking it may be the next Left 4 Dead.
Hmm.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So
Can't say I heard about that, but it sounds good.
Well, I don't know. E3 it seems to be going from a game kind of based thing to more of a more media cultured all round. It's kind of diverting its way away from games centrally and going to more of a media
Maybe.
overview.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think, I mean, basically what we're going to see Black Ops 2. We're going to see
Yes.
stuff from Call of Duty, obviously. We're going to see Halo 4, which is going to be exciting. And that's really like I mean, that's really all the major AAA title stuff that we're going to see this year. There's not going to be any announcement from Respawn Entertainment, the old guys from Infinity Ward. There's not going to be, I mean, as I said, there's no new consoles being announced. So what they're saying is basically 2013, this is like the last year before the next generation. Next year, they're going to announce all the new stuff. It's going to be a total, that's going to be the big year. But this year's kind of like, got some more stuff for you just to keep you, tide you over.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I think I just had a revelation. If obviously the new consoles are going to be working on different engines and all of that stuff, but the publishers, not the publishers, the game console makers such as Sony or Microsoft, they're going to have to release all the specs and like prototype consoles to the company. So I'm sure they must know the specs by now and working on engines to like support that and whatnot.
Right.
But like this culture, we're all about like shooter games at this point. Like what are we gonna have? Like probably the next Crisis coming out. Battlefield 4. Heard they were working on Battlefront 3, like the Star Wars thing from what, like 7 years ago.
Yeah,
They did it.
I heard about that. It's all over the place though. It's been passed from production to production company. I don't know what's happening with it.
Yeah.
Speaking of consoles, Xbox 720 or the next generation Xbox. What we're seeing some rumors saying it's going to be released November 2013, which is interesting because Well, first of all, November, yeah, perfect time before the holidays. You got some months for people to just splurge on it before the holiday, and then you got times for kids to put it on the list for Santa and their mommies and their daddies, and that all works out fine. But we could see something coming here. Um, if it came before the first week in November or the second before the second week in November, that means that it's going to come before Call of Duty. That means that it's going to come before anything else that's released in that first or second week of November. And that's going to mean that these games are going to be launching on this new console because if it launches after a game, then the game can't come out and say, well, just you're gonna have to wait because the new Xbox isn't out yet. You're gonna have to wait. Hold on.
Yeah.
They can't do that. The new console has to be out, and I'm sure they're working on coordinating this whole thing. I mean, to me, it sounds pretty significant that, I mean, maybe that's gonna be the year that we're gonna see another Battlefield game. What we're thinking about seeing is Battlefield Bad Company 3. I've heard some rumors about that, but do you think that they're coordinating with Call of Duty, Activision, and?
I'd be very surprised if they're not. I did. There was an interview a few days ago because the community had been asking, "Oh, is is Black Ops going to be running on a new multiplayer engine or just a new game engine?" Because the game engine has been running on the same one since COD 4. That's why everybody's saying, "Oh, it feels exactly the same." And basically,
they always Sorry.
No, go on.
Well, I did hear that they were upgrading it. I mean, like they upgrade it for every Call of Duty game, no matter who is the developer. But I had heard like there was going to be extensive, I guess, lobbies. Like Black Ops supposed to have like 8-man zombies, which obviously
Right.
the current they have to modify it somewhat how because I know like when people compare like Call of Duty and say the Battlefield series, they always say that Battlefield has the big extensive maps, but Call of Duty has the 60 FPS. And
Right.
the Xbox, the current one is like 7 years old, I'd say. So, I mean, that can only handle so much. I mean, today's computers are better, whether you like console gaming or not. You got to say PC like components are better, you know?
Right. Well, Blade, you are right. Call of Duty and the Call of Duty engine, whether it's the IW engine or the severely modified engine that Treyarch uses, they actually are upgraded every year. The people that say that the graphics haven't changed since 2007, that's a 100% fallacy. It just is. The graphics have changed. I'm sorry, but if you look at COD 4 and compare it to even Modern Warfare 2, if you think they look the same, then I think you're blind. Because the fact is these engines are upgraded every year.
Yeah,
but on the
course.
other hand, I would be surprised if there wasn't a team at Call of Duty working with Activision or at Activision saying, you know what, guys, I think we need a new engine. We got this like competitor called Battlefield, and they just released like this super sexy new
The Frostbite 2
thing,
engine.
and
Yeah.
we're not competing. There has to be someone in there thinking about that.
Well, the thing is with the Frostbite
True.
2 engine, which EA get a huge step over, EA and DICE, which get a huge step over Activision with, is the fact that the first game, Battlefield, that they had the Frostbite 2 engine on, wasn't great, the Frostbite 2 engine, but they've got 1,000,001 ways to tweak it for the next Medal of Honor, and then you're probably going to be bound to have another Battlefield by the time that comes out,
Right.
by the time the next gen consoles come out.
True. The point of me stating about the upgradable engine is not that saying that the games look similar or dissimilar, but the current consoles, whether it's PS3, Wii, or Xbox, they can only hold like so much in terms of memory or whatever else that like I say resources that the games can handle or the consoles can handle that.
Yeah,
running the games.
it's basically a problem of memory and RAM. I mean, how much can a console really handle? And I mean, we know how much Battlefield 3 has to be dumbed down. I mean, you put in that game for Xbox 360, you have to download a 1.5 gig like HD graphics thing.
Now that's probably because the DVD can't hold that
Well,
much. That's what I'm.
you're right, but it also shows how far ahead they've moved. When they can't hold it on a friggin' disc anymore, then wow.
Yeah, it's the majority of games coming out now, like with Max Payne, is across 2 discs. I'm surprised they haven't released some sort of Xbox 360 with a Blu-ray player disc in it instead of a.
Well,
Uh,
I think Blu-ray is a pointless measure, but that's a totally different topic. Let's transition into Minecraft for Xbox. It was released a while ago, and we were gonna cover this last Flex Talk, but we got on a ramble about Black Ops 2. Oops.
as you
And
do.
and so, what are your guys' thoughts? I mean, it sounds like it was really successful. It's right behind Modern Warfare 3. It is the most played game on Xbox Live right now.
It also got the record for the quickest sailing Xbox arcade title ever.
Did
It
you say
beat
sailing? Like a boat?
Sail. No, if you want it to be that way, I don't mind. Yeah, it's the fastest selling
Yeah.
Xbox Live arcade game. It beat Trials Evolution, which came out 2 or 3 weeks beforehand.
Right. Yeah.
Mm.
Have either of you
But,
guys played it?
I bought
I
it.
have not.
I've 100%ed all the achievements, and I've played the PC version, so I can give my opinion on it. I think if you've gone from the brand new version that the PC's on at the moment, which I think is 1.2.6, it feels way far behind because the version it is at the moment is only 1.6 beta. It feels so far behind. I mean, the first thing I tried to do when I got onto it was like, all right, I'm going to start farming animals. You can't do that yet. That wasn't introduced until 1.7 on the beta. So it
Interesting.
feels behind, but the core mechanics of Minecraft are still there, and I think that's what everybody was kind of after.
How are they
You know,
working that with the updates?
The updates, they're releasing like big bundle updates at one time, so they're not going to go from 1.6 to 1.7. I think they're going from 1.6 to 1.2.1 full release in one update over the course of the summer.
That's
Hmm.
interesting.
a lot of Minecraft fans are gonna hate me for this, but I think that the Xbox version is just another form of capitalism trying to get more money. I mean, they're good people, obviously. They have good intentions, but I think for the people who already have it on the PC, they should like get a free copy of it on the Xbox. I know it's not, it's like a totally different copy, but I mean, say if you own it on the
PC.
PC, then they milk like another what, $15 out of you?
Yeah,
30.
it's quite a lot.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you have a point now that I'm thinking about it. How does that work? It doesn't have any correlation to your PC account, does it?
No,
It
not at
just
all.
has your gamer tag. Your name is just your
Yes.
gamer. Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah,
it.
like
That's an interesting point, Blade. I don't know. I mean, I think Minecraft has been hugely successful. I heard a term somewhere. No guarantees on this term, but on this fact. But I heard that Minecraft had actually sold more copies than a certain or any since I think this was before Modern Warfare 3 than any Call of Duty game, but they just hadn't made as much profit because the game didn't cost as much.
Now is that PC and Xbox, or is that just PC?
That was before Xbox even came along. I mean, there are tons of registered users, not to mention how many users are playing this game pirated. I mean, it was so easy to get just for single player. I did that for first out. I mean, it was publicly available. Literally, I mean, all you had to do was download it and then, well, I guess
True.
it really wasn't pirating. All you had to do is download it and then play offline. It was really, but I don't know.
Well,
I think
that's a good point though, because when you talk about games, you hear highest grossing, you don't hear most sales.
yeah, but.
So
I'm
don't know.
glad for them. I'm happy for them that they've moved on to Xbox. I think it's a big step for them, and I just hope they don't get bought out by some, Activision or.
No, I highly doubt it. To be honest, if Mojang had the balls to sell Minecraft, they'll be making a stupid mistake to start off with anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
But
I
that's-
could
that's-
see that. I could see
the-
that would be dumb. But I just don't want them turning into like a big corporation, big company that just thinks about getting money.
true.
Yeah, well, on PC so far, everything's been free once you've bought the game, so all the updates and all that kind of thing have been free. But
Yeah,
that's one thing I'm hoping they keep with Xbox is all the updates and stuff are free. You don't have to pay like another 1,200 Microsoft points for an update.
yeah. Moving on. the epic fail this past week of the Facebook IPO. Oh my God, you've got to buy Facebook stock. Oh wait, it just crashed. You know, this
Is that Facebook or the stock?
yeah, no, yeah, but this is interesting. The most popular social network in the world. I mean, I think it's probably the most visited site, maybe aside from Google. And their stock opened at a crazy starting point. Starting
I
price.
think it was like $26 or something
I don't know
per share.
but
I think
it
that's
was
right,
huge.
per share.
It was huge. People were millionaires in seconds, and I heard that this Lamborghini dealer out in California was back ordered for shipments because all these Facebook execs that were now millionaires had gone out and bought themselves a Lamborghini. But the next day, and now elaborating, further this week, it's not doing very well. What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, can I make a slight correction to that?
What?
It's not just this week. It's since Facebook opened as a company. Basically, it was over speculated by their bank, which is J.P. Morgan. That's their head bank. It was set for $26 per share, which is not as good as like Apple or anything, but that's actually quite ridiculous. Like currently, I think HP, like the company, is about 98 cents. So you could see the difference there.
Right.
But basically, people have been buying up stock in Facebook because it's been hugely popular, obviously. But currently, or recently, I should say, a lot of the Facebook users have been using it on their phone, and it's harder to get advertising onto phones. So what they did is J.P. Morgan sent out a message to high bidding, whatever stockholders, which is illegal because it was only a limited group. So in I guess legal terms, you either send the message out to everybody or nobody. But they sent this message out saying, we don't think that the shares are worth their starting point. So when this got public, everything blew up. But this has been going on since the opening of Facebook, and now they lost.
I mean, it only went public last week.
True.
So
but
this is
on.
when this whole fiasco was really discovered because
True.
I mean I heard that their bank had actually decided to lower the price of the stock, expecting that more people were going to be able to get in and get a piece of it, and that actually hurt them in the long run.
Yeah, well, regardless of what they did, they took a pounding. They got sued, joint sued, because thousands of different individuals are suing them right now. They lost like 33%. It was like worth, I think, like 144 billion, and 33% of that's a huge chunk, and on top of whatever they're going to get sued for.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and it's actually up about 3%. So it's actually
Since what, this morning?
Since this morning, yeah. But I'm looking at the chart, and it's been a bumpy road, and I can see the initial crash, and it's been kind of bumpy since then. Today was the first day that I think it went up in the past few days.
It doesn't close until like 5, I think.
Well, yeah, but at the moment, it's
Right.
you can't expect a huge drop in the last half hour.
Well, I hope not, at least.
Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. What to expect from this? I don't know. Small investors are really getting hurt on this whole fiasco. And then here we'll move on to our last point. Blade's gonna take this out. The proposition by a U.S. judge to ban the Xbox 360 sales in the United States of America.
Yeah, all right. So basically what's been going on, this is, I think, been going on for a couple months now in court. The Xbox 360 Slim, the newer version that came out in, the last 2 years or something like that, the Microsoft's actually been infringing upon Motorola's patents for the Wi-Fi and for video decoding. And it's still in the process, so nothing's been determined. But basically, all the Xboxes that have been produced and sold, would Microsoft would have to pay Motorola 7% of the seller price, and Microsoft thinks that they're going to win the court case. That's what they said to the media at least, and the judge was contemplating basically banning all the Slims from future selling. They're not going to go to your house and take your Xbox away from you. Like
Right.
that's not constitutional unless it's like, but unless it's like something extremely illegal. But Microsoft will just get fined or whatever, depending on how this goes.
Yeah. I always think it's funny when judges propose things like this. I mean, the same stuff has happened with Apple. I mean, Apple goes crazy in those patent battles, but I mean, what kind of judge really thinks that such a popular product and is so key to, a part of our economy? Why would you even contemplate banning a product of such stature?
Well, I'm thinking that sort of thing is if the Microsoft refuses to pay the 7% or whatever, depending on how it turns out.
Yeah.
Rapture, what do you think of this?
I know for a fact that the same bill has gone through in Germany, and they have been banned from selling them in Germany.
I did hear that.
Wow.
But what I have heard, if it's gone past a judge at the moment, if it goes past the next one, it gets passed on to Barack Obama, and then he has to make the final word on whether it gets banned or not.
This is going to be a major point in his campaign career.
The best point is his campaign. It's like Microsoft to start.
If he would vote to ban this, the backlash from the gamers, he would not get reelected. I assure you.
Well, I don't know about Barack Obama doing it, but if he did, he would, like, if that was the actual scenario, he would wait till after the election.
That is true, actually, because
really,
yeah, because it's such a high. I don't know what the term really is. It's such a popular decision that involves. I mean, it's such a huge decision. You can't just make that. You can't just allow some judge in Wyoming or California.
But I think that it's in terms of the Constitution. I think that only the courts have the right. That would be infringing upon the judicial system rights. So I think it would be escalated to the Supreme Court at the top, but I don't know if they would see something like that.
No,
because they only.
No, dude, I actually really did hear that it actually would go to Obama if the judge made the decision to ban, Obama would have the final say. And
I'll take your word for it. That's kind of weird, though.
Yeah, I read it in a couple articles actually, so it's pretty credible. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this up for today. Thanks for listening, guys. We're at like 23 minutes here. It's been pretty long. So thanks for listening, guys. This has been Flexx Talk, and we'll see you later. I was kind of waiting for you guys to say something, but
I was thinking about it.
Both of you, just say see you guys later right now.
Peace.
What's up? What's up?
No, don't say, oh my god.
Wait, let's try that again. All right. So say not a salutation, something you want to like ciao, I don't know, goodbye, It's like I'm Blade. I'm out.
Peace, guys.